Hi, everybody. This is Aaron Mesh with Willamette Week. Today, I'm talking with Dr. Marcel Curlin of Oregon Health and Sciences University. We're talking about not the Pfizer vaccine, not the Moderna vaccine, but another vaccine for COVID-19. That's the AstraZeneca trials. And it's my understanding that Oregon Health and Sciences University is still seeking people to participate in the vaccine trials. So, if you're waiting for a shot, here's a fast way to get one. Dr. Curlin, talk to me about how Oregon Health and Sciences University got involved in this.
Well, so the studies have opened nationally, and they're recruiting from a number of sites across the country, over 100 sites. And over the summer, we submitted a statement of interest to AstraZeneca, indicating that we could potentially conduct one of these studies. And after their review of our site and our capacity, they decided that they would accept us.
What does that mean for Oregonians? What exactly are you doing?
Well, so I think what it really means, essentially, we're serving as a location from which people can join this national study. It really represents one of the earliest ways people can potentially be vaccinated. It's also an opportunity for people to contribute to the science that's moving forward to help end the epidemic. So if we hadn't submitted it, you'd have to be either living in Seattle or living in San Francisco or living in some other city to participate.
How many people have signed up? It's been about 3 weeks now?
Right, it's been open since November 30th. And the way the system works is that there's a website, a central website, the AstraZeneca website, that people can use to log into and register their interest. And then they'll enter their individual information, demographic information, and name and contact. And then we have access to that site and can then recruit from that group. And so after November 30th, when we opened, there was this phenomenal level of interest, and we've had, I think, 13,000, as of last time I checked, people who registered. So it was really a very remarkable response and exceptional across the nation, actually. We really surprised the AstraZeneca team.
How many of those people have gotten shots?
Oh, it's a good question. I don't have the exact number. It's a small number of them. So we can accommodate about 10 people a day in clinic to vaccinate. And the reason for that is because these research visits are somewhat involved. They involve an eligibility screen, a physical examination, laboratory studies, a vaccination, and then a 15-minute observation period. We're very cautious in research. And so our top speed with the staffing we have right now is about 10 people, maybe a little bit more per day. And we had a slow start. So we're going to just keep accruing. Now we're going at our top speed, and we're going to keep vaccinating people at their best rate we can until the window for new vaccinations, new enrollments closes nationally in the national study. And our guess is that will be sometime in early January. Maybe the first week of January is my best guess.
Now, are there 2 rounds of shots with AstraZeneca? Because there obviously are with Pfizer and Moderna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are 2 vaccinations separated by 28 days.
I have no idea whether you can answer this question, whether you're allowed to answer this question, but have you seen any side effects?
Very little in the way of side effects. The expected effects after any of these vaccinations would be, if you get anything, soreness in the arm where the shot was, just like a flu vaccine. Some people get a little bit of, joint pain or muscle pain or a little bit of fatigue or headache. Those are the classic symptoms post-vaccination. And they happen because your immune system is being exposed to something, and it's this sort of natural, innate immune response. People call them flu-like symptoms because if you get infected with the flu, often those are the same symptoms you have with your immune system trying to fight off the flu. So it's the immune system responding to vaccination.
I always think it's strange that they're referred to as flu-like symptoms because they're not the ones that I worry about when I get the flu. They're not the coughing, the vomiting, the restroom trips.
Yeah, really, when people say flu-like symptoms, it's a misnomer. It's a sort of a shortcut for kind of a generalized immune response to viral infection. So you're right. influenza itself, if you get a bad case of influenza, the problem is respiratory. And that's not fun and not at all what we're talking about. What we're talking about is that more mild, self-limited kind of feeling of a little bit of malaise and fatigue and maybe headache and,
Sure.
muscle pains, that sort of thing.
I think in the public perception, AstraZeneca is the bad one, right? Like the other two are the ones that had the 94% efficacy rate, and then there was this cluster in Britain, and everybody was concerned about AstraZeneca.
Right. Okay, so yeah, I think what you have to remember about these things is we're in a very early stage of the advancement of these vaccines for use. So with a typical vaccine, takes many years, and we accumulate years and years of knowledge about them. And so when you talk about the flu vaccine, we have lots of experience. It's been used in many, many people. In contrast, COVID is new on the scene, and the vaccines, they haven't been tested in as many people. And so the efficacy, the number you're talking about, how well it protects, what's that percentage, is based on a very small number of cases. The way they calculate efficacy is they just bring everybody into a study, vaccinate half with real product, vaccinate half with placebo, and then they accumulate cases and they ask, well, did you get the vaccine or did you get placebo? And in that you can calculate the efficacy. In the case of these vaccines like Pfizer and AstraZeneca, our estimates so far are only based on maybe a few hundred cases. So in fact, that efficacy estimate is going to mature over time. I think they're all going to converge somewhere around 90% in the end.
That's a very helpful answer. Thank you. Are you in line yet to get a vaccine at OHSU? Everybody's getting them these days.
Right. So I'm very anxious to get a vaccine myself. I can't get the AstraZeneca vaccine because I'm running the study, and that would be a violation. The way I can get vaccinated is through the rollout of Pfizer for the employees here at OHSU. We're doing that in a priority order scheme so that the people that are thought to be at highest risk of infection, like the critical care nurses, for example, and anesthesiologists, or people that work with airways, where they might be in really close contact with viral, at high risk of getting virus from people, they're being lined up for the very first vaccinations. They're actually happening as we speak down the hall here. We're running this out of occupational health. So as soon as my name comes up, I'll be in line to get the vaccination too.
What's the scene like on the other side of that doorway?
Well, if you go down this hallway, we have the occupational health rooms, and then you enter a section of the building which is clinical space, and there's a long line of people snaking around the hallway to an entry point. From there, they get checked in, escorted to one of the rooms where vaccination happens, and then from there, they're escorted to a seating area where they're observed for 15 minutes, and then they're let go. It's a very calm and orderly scene, but there's a lot of people, and there's a pretty good mood happening out there. It's been a really fun experience.